One person is dead after several cars crashed in Corpus Christi. Why investigators had to close the expressway for a few hours.
Rain, rain, don't go away. I'm Stephanie Molina, and I'll show you what neighbors in West Nueces County saw this Easter weekend.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Chris 6 News Sunrise. Today is Tuesday, April 7th. I'm Michelle Hoffman. Brian Hoffman has the week off, but we do have meteorologist Stephen Jones in with us this morning to check on those roadways and the weather. Hey, good morning.
Well, good morning, Michelle, and good morning, Coastal Bend. Of course, looking like a pretty good Tuesday, I'd say, so far. We are still definitely jacket-worthy as we're heading out for our Tuesday morning, though. We're sitting at 57 degrees here in Corpus Christi. Here's a live view, though, from that SPID Skycam. Luckily, not tracking any major slowdowns out there, but starting to see a few more cars picking up on SPID now. As we're checking out those temperatures in your neighborhoods, though, we have a pretty decent variation across the area today. About 15 degrees right now. Port Aransas has dropped to now 66 degrees out there, but much cooler in Beeville, coming in at 51 so far. 52 is your temperature in Alice, with Hebbronville coming in at that 54-degree mark. And winds around the board about 5 to 10 miles an hour out of the east and north right now, shifting further to the east and then the southeast as we head into later portions of today, especially by that 6 to 10 p.m. time frame. Keep in mind, temperatures pushing those 70s today. I think it's looking like a pretty good Tuesday to get out there and enjoy it if you can. Calling 77, if not 78 degrees for our daytime high here in town. And here's how that traffic's flowing if you're getting ready to head out for the day. No issues on the Harbor Bridge, and really the same going for our major roadways here in town. So going to be a good and green Tuesday morning, and I'll have more details on the rain chances on the way coming up.
And you know, speaking of traffic, the Crosstown Expressway is now reopened this morning after 5 cars crashed last night. It happened on the northbound lanes near Morgan Avenue just after 6:30. Corpus Christi police say 3 people were taken to the hospital and 1 person died from their injuries. The expressway was closed for debris cleanup. The investigation into the cause of the crash continues at this hour. As water use continues to be at top of minds for many across the Coastal Bend, Del Mar College regents will discuss water during today's meeting. This comes after school representatives met with the City of Corpus Christi Office of Emergency Management and Communications departments about their plans and preparedness for a level 1 drought. This includes the nearly 1 million gallons of water used annually for its fire training academy. And folks, heads up, the City of Corpus Christi has rescheduled their weekly water briefings. It will be on Thursdays this week and next week. City officials say the change is temporary, and we will have the weekly water briefing live on our website, christv.com.
I'm Stephanie Molina in West Nueces County, where neighbors were overjoyed by the recent rain they saw this weekend. I asked them what this means for them.
What is your reaction to the recent rain we just got?
We were excited to receive the rain because much needed, as everybody knows.
That was the reaction many residents shared in our Chris 6 News Coastal Bend Weather Watchers Facebook group. Areas across West Nueces County shared photos of their rain gauges filled after rain fell this Easter weekend.
It was a blessing. On my rain gauge here today, I measured 2.7 inches.
And the reason for this overjoyed reaction is the intensity of the drought, especially in rural areas of West Nueces County, where the dry soil easily soaks up water.
You can look at my sidewalks. They're all cracked open, and that's due to the drought, extreme drought we had.
It's only just close to my porch and maybe around, but other than that, all the back is just dead.
Although it was nice to receive rain, residents tell me it's just not like how it used to be.
Normally these ditches, they get filled with rain, even though it's not full, but I always have water in there. And this time there was no water.
The whole thing was about 3 to 4 foot high on the rainy season, and right now it's all dried up.
And they say they will continue to remain optimistic about the future of the Coastal Bend.
It's a blessing. It's a good thing we got some rain, and hopefully we can continue getting rain.
All we can all do is just pray for more rain. That's all we can do.
As our weather team has mentioned, we're going to need a lot more rain to help our drought. But still, neighbors say it's better than nothing. In West Nueces County, I'm Stephanie Molina, Chris 6 News.
Stephanie, thank you so much. Another milestone for the Artemis II crew. They surpassed the previous record for the farthest distance from Earth that humans have ever traveled. That mark was previously set by Apollo 13 in 1970 at 248,655 miles. The Artemis II mission will eventually reach a total distance of 252,757 miles away from Earth. Savannah Guthrie returned to the Today Show Monday morning on NBC more than 2 months after her mother Nancy disappeared from her home. As the show began, she told the audience that it was good to be home. The investigation into her mother's disappearance is ongoing, and Guthrie acknowledged her colleagues and fans, saying, quote, "I've been really feeling the love so much."
Well, good Tuesday morning, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones. Taking a look at what to expect for the week ahead, just in case you're not able to see the whole forecast here. We're expecting those partly cloudy skies and pretty nice temperatures, if you ask me, today in the upper 70s here in Corpus Christi. But heading through the next few days, we've got those winds turning back out of the southeast. What that's going to mean is more moisture in our atmosphere, likely to notice that humidity on the rise, especially by Thursday into Friday. And by the time we're heading into Friday and even Saturday morning, could have a few thunderstorms back on the board. But as we're kicking off our Tuesday morning, here's a live view from our Snoopy's Pier sky cam. Thanks to Matthew CCAC. Of course, we're sitting at 65 degrees here by the water on the Laguna Madre. Winds out of the east about 11 miles an hour, and still a decent dose of the cloud cover overhead, but pretty thin and pretty high as it is right now. When we're looking at those temperatures inland, though, pretty cool compared to what we just saw at the Naval Air Station by that 65-degree mark. A good 9 degrees cooler here in town, coming in at 56 for Corpus Christi. 51, the cool spot on the board for San Diego, Mathis, and even to the southwest in Hebbronville right now. Beeville, you're waking up to about that 52-degree mark. But as we're checking out the school day forecast for us, should be in those upper 50s for the 7 a.m. drop-off, getting up into those 70s as we're heading towards 3 p.m. this afternoon. I'm calling 77 for our daytime high, but I wouldn't be surprised to see 78 degrees or even a couple 80s for areas towards B County and into Live Oak County. Keep in mind, winds turning more out of the east and southeast as we head into this afternoon and evening. And that's going to continue as we head through the next few days with those winds back out of the southeast, meaning more moisture in the atmosphere. Like we talked about, something you're going to notice, the mugginess in the air heading into Thursday and Friday. By the time we're heading into Friday and Saturday, that dew point's already approaching the 70-degree mark, which is getting towards that very, very humid and even towards the oppressive category on the dew point reader. So what to expect through the next few days? A little bit of a warm up in terms of temperatures, the 80-degree mark for us. A little breezier there on Thursdays. We're getting more moisture into the atmosphere, priming the atmosphere for Friday morning. Could see some of those morning storms, but keep in mind, not a sure shot to see those Friday storms, just likely to see some rain, at least, with models differing still a little bit on how much we're going to see. Either way, what they're agreeing on, not going to be quite as much as what we saw or widespread as what we saw on our Easter Sunday. So here's how those rain chances are ramping up through the week ahead. Not too much as we go through today or tomorrow. By the Thursday overnight time frame into our Friday morning, that's where we see the best chance for some of those storms reappearing in the coastal bend, and then it looks like they're going to clear up as we head into later portions of our weekend. So on the 7-day forecast, I wouldn't cancel all of those weekend plans. We're still sitting in the lower 80s, even the mid 80s as we enter next week, with overnight lows rising up from the 60s into the 70s for this weekend.
President Trump is ramping up the pressure for Iran to make a deal to end the conflict and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Coming up, where those negotiations stand now. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon is warning investors about the potential impact of the Iran war on the U.S. economy. In his annual letter to shareholders, Dimon said the U.S. economy started the year out strong with President Trump's tax cuts and deregulatory agenda, but there will eventually be a tipping point. He says the oil price jumps could alter the global supply chain, similar to what happened during the pandemic. Meanwhile, after a failed ceasefire agreement, President Trump's deadline for Iran to make a deal has passed overnight. So to talk about this, let's bring in Scripps News Group's Washington correspondent, Stephanie Liebergen. Good morning, Stephanie. So without a deal in place, what's the latest on negotiations this morning, and what would a potential military attack on Iran look like?
Hey, Michelle, good morning. While the deadline we're all kind of waiting for it to arrive is at 7 o'clock your time this evening, the president says that is when he either needs some kind of deal with Iran or he needs the Strait of Hormuz reopened for regular business. The president is so far downplaying concerns about the threats that he has put out there to target civilian infrastructure, saying that there's very little that would be off limits in a U.S. military attack on Iran if things are stepped up significantly overnight. But while the president has said repeatedly that he would attack bridges in Iran and he would attack energy plants in Iran, he laid out a really aggressive scenario about what could happen if there's no deal. Take a listen.
We have a plan, because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition by 12 o'clock. And it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. We don't want that to happen.
The president went on to say that the U.S. could hypothetically be involved in rebuilding Iran when the war is over. But the war of words really between the two countries has continued today, with officials from Iran's Revolutionary Guard saying that they would cut off fuel for years to the U.S. and to our allies by maintaining control on the Strait of Hormuz. Now, Iran has been largely unpersuaded by the threats from President Trump, saying that kind of writing it off as rude and arrogant rhetoric, saying that it's a baseless threat from the U.S. president. But they're saying that they would control and shut off the Strait of Hormuz, which they have largely been doing already for the last 5-6 weeks of this war. The Iranian officials saying that they have exercised restraint so far, but that if President Trump follows through on his threat, that they would not continue to use that restraint going forward. So it's all, unfortunately, just a waiting game now, waiting to see if there's any type of diplomatic negotiations happening today that can strike some kind of deal, or if President Trump does indeed follow through on his threats when that time hits at 7 o'clock this evening.
Well, Stephanie, we really appreciate you following this for us, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Well, good Tuesday morning there, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones. Giving you a look at our April climate. We are on April 7th now, of course, but just a reminder, going through the month of April, we start to see those warming temperatures. In terms of our averages, we see that daytime high rise from about 80 to 85 degrees as we head into later portions of the month. Keep in mind that average rainfall, we see about 2 inches in terms of April, but we've already seen about 75% of that so far in just one day whenever we had our Easter Sunday passing by, so that's pretty nice so far. In terms of that daylight, we got to 45, we're getting an extra 45 minutes out there, so that's going to be pretty nice as we head into later portions of the month for us. When we're looking at that studio sky cam out there, we're seeing the Harbor Bridge and downtown in full view right now. We're sitting pretty cool here in Corpus Christi at that 56-degree mark with winds out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour, and that's really common across most of the coastal bend. Just a little bit warmer as you work your way closer to the water with that water heated air, I should say. 66 degrees is your temperature in Port Aransas, 65 over there by the Naval Air Station right now, and then a pretty decent cool down towards Mathis, San Diego, and Hebronville sitting at that 51-degree mark. Ingleside, you're coming in at 58 degrees, the same as Rockport this morning. Rolling through the rest of our Tuesday, though, we're back on the warm-up into the 70s, 71 degrees expected by 11 a.m., about 76 by that 3 p.m. hour, and I think we touch up to 77, if not 78 degrees for our daytime high. Pretty nice to get out there and enjoy it, but also notice those winds shifting out of the north, more southeasterly as we're heading into the evening, likely to stay a little bit more southeasterly now as we're heading through the rest of the week. For our daytime highs, maybe even seeing a couple of more 80s as you work your way to the north. George West chasing 79 degrees. That's going to be the same for Alice and Orange Grove later today, with the coast coming in those low to mid 70s. So later today, not as much variation in terms of our temperatures out there. But with the moisture on the way, those winds turning out of the southeast that we talked about, that's going to continue into tomorrow and Thursday, meaning more moisture in our atmosphere. You're going to start to notice that humidity quantity picking up a little bit, but with more moisture, that's also going to lead to some increased rain chances, thankfully, as we're heading into Friday and Saturday. Mainly Friday morning is where we're anticipating the strongest chance for some storms making their return to the coastal bend, but like I've been saying all morning, just keep in mind, not likely to be as widespread or not in terms of rainfall totals coming down as much either with the models right now. Just only expecting closer to that 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch for most of us. The current models for the highest aggressiveness out there, maybe upwards of 1 inch in terms of how much rainfall we could see, but on the safe side, I'm thinking more like that 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch mark across the coastal bend. So how it's shaping up on the 7-day forecast, nice and worthy of getting out there today with that jacket. 80 degrees tomorrow and really through Friday with that next chance of storms on the way. As we're rolling into the weekend, the daytime highs warm up into the low 80s and even the mid 80s for next week, with overnight lows following that trend from the lower 60s into the lower 70s by next week.
A debate on whether control over another's body is humane or not. Coming up, we'll show you the technology used and what instructors are attempting to fully control. If you don't like bugs, you might want to look away for this next story, because instructors at Marquette University in Milwaukee are using cockroaches to teach students about neuroscience. They attach Bluetooth-enabled backpacks to the bugs, which can send tiny electric pulses to their antenna. Students use a phone app to control those currents and which direction the roaches move. Some animal activists have taken issue with similar experiments, calling them cruel. Some Android users will soon need a new texting app. The company announced Samsung Messages is being discontinued in July. The owners of Samsung smartphone and gadget owners are being asked to switch to Google Messages, and this will give users the latest AI features and higher photo quality sharing. Google Messages can be downloaded from the Play Store and set at users' default messaging app.
Well, good Tuesday morning there, Coastal Bend. Taking a look from our SPID Skycam, starting to see a few more cars picking up on that roadway. Luckily not tracking any of those major slowdowns as of right now. Just cool temperatures out there, but a good variation in them also. Beeville sitting at that 51-degree mark. 16 degrees warmer right now in Port Aransas, sitting at 67 degrees. Still jacket worthy across the board if you ask me. Alice sitting at 53 with Rockport coming in at that 58-degree mark. Through the rest of our Tuesday, we're back on the warm-up. 76 degrees is what we're expected to hit by 2 p.m. up to about 77 for that daytime high. I'm thinking something else to notice, those winds shifting from the north to the east and then the southeast as we're heading into this afternoon and evening. We're going to see that moisture starting to flow more into the area as we head into tonight and further through the week, meaning more rain chances by the end of the week. But if you're getting ready to head out for our Tuesday morning, here's how that traffic's currently flowing. No issues on the Harbor Bridge right now, and pretty much the same for our major roadways here in Corpus Christi, Ocean Drive, SPID, and Saratoga, all coming in that good and green color. So a good and green Tuesday morning across the entire Coastal Bend, but I'll have more details on those rain chances coming up in just a few minutes.
Now this morning on the third hour of today, more of my conversation with Olympic skier Lindsey Vonn as she gives her first interview since her accident. Also, comedian David Cross will stop by, and the Pit star Patrick Ball telling us about his Broadway debut. That's all this morning on the third hour of today.
Well, howdy and happy Tuesday, Coastal Bend. Taking a look at our rainfall totals so far this month, at least. Well, through the past few days of April, we're only on the 7th now. We've seen 0.02 of an inch there on the 4th, but on the 5th for our Easter Sunday, we picked up almost 1 3/4 inches. Keep in mind, for the month of April, we're only supposed to see about 2 inches of rain, so we're most of the way there for our average, but we have a long way to go to put some more dents in this drought monitor. This is the latest look from last Thursday. We'll see that new update coming this Thursday, of course, but still holding on to that exceptional drought into McMullen County towards Tilden, even moving into Live Oak County a little bit there. Off towards the southwest, Alice and Kingsville also dealing with that exceptional drought. According to the National Center for Environmental Information, it would take about 20 to even 30 inches of rain over the next 3 months to terminate the drought that we currently have. So we have a long ways to go still as we're rolling through 2026, but still some good indications for a wetter pattern as we're heading deeper into spring. Starting off our Tuesday morning with this live view from our studio Skycam. Pretty cool out there, 56 degrees on the board. Winds Winds out of the north about 7 miles an hour, and definitely jacket worthy as you're heading out there. Still sitting at 51 degrees for areas towards Mathis and Hebronville right now. Beeville coming in at 52, 58 your temperature in Ingleside and Rockport with the warm spot on the board. Port Aransas coming in at a comfortable 67 degrees. But looking at a closer look with our Chris 6 neighborhood weather network now, you can see on the south side sitting at that 58 degree mark for areas towards Bent Trail Drive, even 54 there on Graham Road with 64 degrees there by the Shell weather station. So all of us feeling those 50s and 60s right now, even in Rockport dealing with those 50s, 60s out there, and that's going to be the same for areas towards Kingsville right now. But when we're looking at that dog walking forecast, today we've got Aussie and Sassy Cavazos on the board. They're right here from Nueces County. Says their favorite place to go, just be on the couch. But if we're able to get them out the door for that walk today, it's going to be pretty nice out there. 67 degrees by 10 a.m., up to 73 as we're heading in towards that noon hour. And keep in mind, winds are still about 5 to 10 miles an hour right now, closer to 10 to 15 as we're heading into the afternoon, but also shifting more out of the southeast as we're heading into the afternoon and evening. So for our daytime highs, pretty similar across the area. About 71 for Port Aransas, calling 77 here in town with potentially a couple of 80s as you work towards Live Oak County and maybe even for Beeville today. Working through the next few days, like we talked about, those winds are going to be shifting back out of the southeast this evening and staying a little bit more steady out of the southeast as we head through the next few days, meaning moisture going to be back on the rise. When we're looking at the muggy meter, you're likely to start noticing that mugginess and humidity in the atmosphere, especially by that Thursday time frame into Friday. One good news, one silver lining about this, I should say, going to be rain chances on the rise as we head through those next few days, especially by that Friday time frame. You can see tomorrow we're still partly cloudy and pleasant. Start to get a pretty decent breeze by Thursday with more of that moisture funneling into the area, and then that next rain chance returning to the 7-day forecast as we're heading into our Friday morning. Here's how it's all shaping up right now. Hopefully you're able to get out there and enjoy these next couple of days with only those upper 70s and lower 80s. That rain chance returns into the weekend by Friday into Saturday. No, not going to be quite as widespread as what we saw for Easter Sunday, but we'll still take every drop in the bucket we can get. Temperatures settle out into those lower 80s by the weekend with overnight lows settling out in the lower 70s.
There are new guidelines on how to care for patients at risk of cardiovascular disease. After the break, we'll break down what this means for you. Some college students say they're struggling to land internships. A March rebound in job growth follows a large drop in February. Internship struggles might go back further back. Indeed reports postings were down in 2025. CareerSite Handshake says applications per internship nearly doubled between 2024 and last year. ZipRecruiter says graduates with work experience are much more likely to get jobs than those without it. Heart disease kills one person every 34 seconds in the U.S., but the CDC says it can be prevented in many cases. Mandy Gaither explains why these uniform recommendations have been updated for doctors and what it means for patients.
For the first time since 2018, the guidelines on how doctors can help heart patients have been updated. The American Heart Association, the American College of Cardiology, and 9 other medical organizations have some new recommendations for those who have something called dyslipidemia. It's an unhealthy balance of lipids or fats in the bloodstream and a huge risk factor for cardiovascular diseases.
There's been a lot of new updates in terms of how we treat high cholesterol, new medications, new tests that we can run also. So this is kind of a much needed update.
Dr. Jim Liu with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center says the overall frame of the guidelines is still the same. What's different is determining who's likely to develop heart disease or have a cardiac event before either of those things can happen, using a new tool called a PREVENT calculator.
It's a much more modern risk calculator that incorporates, more modern things. And it's also a more it looks like a much bigger population.
For those who fall in the new patient category of very high risk, the guidelines suggest early intervention through healthy lifestyle changes, including maintaining a healthy weight, exercising regularly, not smoking, prioritizing quality sleep, and taking cholesterol-lowering medication when recommended by a doctor. The guidelines also lower the level of cholesterol that should be targeted.
The earlier you treat, to lower targets and for longer is overall better for heart health.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Most states are extending the window for RSV immunizations as the virus continues longer than usual. RSV typically follows a fall to spring pattern with immunizations recommended through the end of March, but this season has shifted. Federal data shows positivity rates are significantly higher than this time last year. Doctors say continued access to immunization could make a real difference. A new study shows fewer pregnant women in emergency rooms have been taking acetaminophen, the Tylenol generic. The research in the journal The Lancet follows President Donald Trump's questionable claim it's linked to autism. Most experts see no such connection. Major medical associations say acetaminophen is the safest over-the-counter pain and fever reliever during pregnancy.
Well, good Tuesday morning there, Coastal Bend, taking a live view from our Snoopy's Pier Skycam thanks to Matthews CCAC. Fairly warm over here, closer to the water, sitting at 65 degrees on the board. Winds out of the east about 11 miles an hour, and fairly clear skies overhead. Just a couple of clouds out there, but cooler as you work your way inland thanks to not having so much of that cloud cover overhead, acting as a blanket, as to keep that daytime heat in like we've talked about before. But without that cloud cover overhead as you work your way inland, quite a bit of radiational cooling going on. Beeville sitting at 51 degrees as of right now. Alice down to that 53 degree mark on the board. Rockport coming in at 58, and that's going to be the same for Ingleside right now, with the warm spot being Port Aransas coming in at a nice 67 degrees out there. As we're looking at the dew points, not too muggy right now. We're sitting in the 50s for dew points, even a 48 degree mark there in Beeville. These are going to raise though as we're going through the next few days, with those winds shifting back out of the southeast already by this afternoon into evening. That's going to help more of that moisture funneling back into the area. Keep in mind, temperature wise, still looking pretty nice today though, in those upper 70s here in Corpus Christi, so hopefully you're able to enjoy it. But with more moisture on the way, we've got more rain chances on the way. I'll break down what you can expect for the week and the weekend ahead coming up after the break.
One person is dead after several cars crashed in Corpus Christi, why investigators had to close the expressway for a few hours. Plus, Del Mar College officials are looking at their water use. Coming up, the program that is most impacted by a potential cutback.
And we're still cool today, but moisture is on the rise as we're heading through the week ahead, meaning rain chances are returning to the forecast. I'll break down what you can expect for the week and the weekend coming up.
Now, 20 minutes of nonstop news, sponsored by Ewald Kubota.
Thank you so much for joining us for 20 minutes of nonstop news. I'm Michelle Hoffman. Folks, you just saw we have plenty of neighborhood news for you this morning, including the Crosstown Expressway. It's now reopened this morning after 5 cars crashed last night. It happened on the northbound lanes near Morgan Avenue just after 6:30. Corpus Christi police say 3 people were taken to the hospital and 1 person died from their injuries. The expressway was closed for debris cleanup. The investigation into the cause of the crash continues at this hour. So many of you shared your photos on our Coastal Bend Weather Watchers Facebook group, and you could see those rain gauges filling up, especially across West Nueces County. Neighborhood news reporter Stephanie Molina spoke with residents who were overjoyed with the weekend rain.
We were excited to receive the rain because much needed, as everybody knows. So yeah, we were happy.
It was a blessing. On my rain gauge here today, I measured 2.7 inches.
And as our expert weather team has mentioned, we're going to need a lot more rain to help our drought, but still neighbors say it's better than nothing. The city of Bishop will open the Nueces County Amistad Veterans Memorial Park this evening. A ceremony will include a dedication and ribbon cutting. This event marks the completion of the practice facility. The ceremony starts at 6. A trip to the barbershop is a simple routine, but for kids with autism, it can be overwhelming, but not for kids like Frankie.
I know.
He got his hair cut by Jacob Epsey, a barber for more than 25 years. Epsey works with dozens of clients on the spectrum. He uses quieter clippers and hides sharp tools to keep kids like Frankie comfortable. Frankie's dad says finding the right barber changed everything.
My son first walked in here, is nothing like I've ever seen before. Like, I got super emotional because he didn't cry, he didn't kick, he didn't scream. It was just like if they known each other their whole lives.
Frankie now gets a haircut every week, and Epsey hopes this raises awareness for those on the spectrum, proving every child deserves the same experiences. So sargassum seaweed is starting to roll onto our coastal beaches. You've likely already seen the brown algae scattered across the shores, but the coming months will bring a lot more. Jace Tunnell, the director of community engagement at the Hart Research Institute, met with Neighborhood News reporter Drew Bishop at the beach and shows us what sargassum can do for our ecosystem. He explains the sargassum can help expand our beaches and houses sea creatures, but it can be dangerous.
With sargassum, the thing you got to watch out for is all the organisms inside of it, not necessarily the algae itself. You know, the sargassum's washing in, there could be man-o-war that are in there.
Dangerous creatures, as you heard, can sometimes be hidden in the algae, but sargassum itself is typically harmless. It can also smell like rotten eggs as it gets warmer. If you want to check if the beach is filled with it before you go, you can use the website sargassummonitoring.com to check where it's most dense. And if you've lived here long enough, you may know sargassum along our neighborhood beaches isn't new, but the scale of what's out there right now is. It's a story I've followed several times before. Back in May 2023, I was on the shoreline as thick mats of sargassum rolled in, and scientists linked it to a massive system, a nearly 5,000-mile wide belt of seaweed stretching across the Atlantic from West Africa to the Gulf. Since 2011, these massive blooms have been showing up more frequently, and in some years reaching record levels. Last year, scientists recorded the largest bloom ever. In Texas news now, the capital murder trial for a former FedEx delivery driver who kidnapped and killed a 7-year-old North Texas girl begins today. Tanner Horner is charged with the murder and aggravated kidnapping. 7-year-old Athena Strand was reported missing in Wise County in November of 2022. Her body was found 2 days later. Prosecutors said they plan to seek the death penalty if convicted. Caught on camera, a motorcycle goes up in flames in San Antonio after a rider loses control and crashes his bike into a curb. It explodes into flames and the rider is thrown into the fire. Shortly after, the rider on fire runs towards a nearby park, rolling in the grass. Robert Perez caught all of this action on his home security camera, and he says he spoke to the sheriff who was on scene.
Mentioned that the rider was actually able to walk away. He had some minor burns and some road rash.
The investigation into the crash is ongoing.
All of a sudden I started hearing, yeah. And it was coming out of the fireplace.
That was how homeowners in Houston woke up. They called 911 and firefighters began to tear down their wall and found a man in their chimney. 33-year-old Edwin Leonel Salmeron Grandos claims he was trying to get away and hide after being chased. Investigators have not confirmed his story, but he's now being charged with burglary.
Well, good Tuesday morning there, Coastal Bend. I'm meteorologist Stephen Jones. Taking a look from our Snoopy's Pier sky cam, thanks to Matthews CCAC, we're still warm over here, 65 degrees. Kind of jacket worthy though, if you ask me. Still winds out of the east about 11 miles an hour and a gorgeous sunrise on our hands as that sun's getting ready to come up in just about another 20 minutes or so. Taking a closer look at our temperatures with that Chris 6 neighborhood weather network on the south side. 60 degrees is your temperature on Pebble Beach Drive. Garden Court coming in at that 56 degree mark so far. Flower Bluff also a spread of temperatures, 53 from Graham Road to 66 degrees there on Laguna Shores Road. As we work towards Rockport, it's pretty similar, 56 on Augusta Drive, 59 for Cochrane Lane, and as we work just a little bit further inland, I should say, towards Beeville, just a little bit cooler up there towards Hilltop Road, coming in at that 51 degree mark, but across the board, definitely jacket worthy as we're heading out for our Tuesday. Maybe even able to hold on to it into the afternoon. We're on the warm up though, 76 degrees by 3 p.m. and I'm calling about 77, if not 78 degrees touching up to it for that daytime high. Winds shifting further out of the east this afternoon and evening and then into the southeast as we head into the overnight time frame. Here's how it's going to play out on that future tracker. Luckily, plenty of clear skies for the most part as we're heading through our Tuesday, pushing back into those 70s this afternoon and maybe a couple 80s sneaking their way onto the board towards Live Oak and Bee counties. But either way, as we're heading into tonight, still with those clear skies overhead, we're dropping into the 60s, but when you take into account those winds back out of the southeast with more moisture on the way, not quite as cool cool as what we're seeing right now. Just more like those upper 50s and lower 60s for the area as opposed to those lower 50s and lower 60s today. As we're looking at the Muggy meter, like we talked about, that moisture is going to be back on the rise with winds out of the southeast. Going to start noticing that moisture in the atmosphere, especially by Thursday into Friday as it approaches that humid category and then even into the very humid category. Dew points approaching that 70-degree mark as we head into this weekend. Luckily, with that moisture in place by Friday into Saturday, we see a weak disturbance working in, and rain chances are going to be on the rise with it. Next 2 days, not expecting too much in terms of that rainfall, and even with the rainfall that does work in by Friday morning and into Saturday morning, not expected to be quite as widespread as what we saw on our Easter Sunday. And in terms of those rainfall totals, not quite as much either, but with this aggressive model, still wants to put maybe down an inch over the next 7 days here in the coastal bend. But when you take into account our drought monitor with the entire area right now, still about 20 to 30 inches to go over the next 3 months to terminate the drought that we currently have. That's at least according to the National Center for Environmental Information, so still a long ways to go for now for 2026. Here's how it's shaping up on that 7-day forecast, though. Looking pretty nice through the next few days, so hopefully you're able to enjoy the nice weather. Then those next drops of rain in the bucket as we head into Friday and Saturday morning. Those daytime highs are entering the 80s, especially as we head into this weekend, the mid-80s next week, with overnight lows settling out in those lower 70s.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
As water use continues to be at top of mind for many across the coastal bend, Del Mar College Regents will discuss water during today's meeting. This comes after school representatives met with the City of Corpus Christi Office of Emergency Management and Communications departments about their plans and preparedness for a level 1 drought. This includes the nearly 1 million gallons of water used annually for its fire training academy. The City of Corpus Christi has rescheduled their weekly water briefings. It will be on Thursday this week and next week. City officials do say the change is temporary, and we will have the weekly water briefing live on our website, christv.com. In just a couple of hours, the Texas Energy Advocates Coalition will host a community health clinic in Robstown. It will take place at 101 East Main Avenue starting at 9, and they offer a range of no-cost services to families across the region. The event will feature a mobile medical unit, too. Work gets underway today for a new house for Ronald McDonald House Charities of South Texas. The milestone will be marked with a ceremonial groundbreaking. The new house will expand the ability to serve families with children receiving care in the coastal bend. Students at Veterans Memorial High School are hosting a Fill the Fridge event this morning. Starting at 8, you can drop off grab-and-go snacks and drinks during the morning drop-off. Organizers are looking for items like granola bars, fruit, chips, and energy drinks to stock the staff lounge. And on Friday, the community is invited to attend an unaccompanied veteran burial. The service will be for U.S. Army Veteran Specialist 4, William Adrian Shepard. It will take place at the Coastal Bend State Veterans Cemetery at 11, and Shepard is not expected to have any next of kin attend his burial. He will receive military honors.
Well, good Tuesday morning there, Coastal Bend, taking a live view from our SPID Skycam. Definitely more cars picking up on the roadway, but still not tracking any major slowdowns right now, at least. In terms of our temperatures, though, it's jacket worthy out there. 51 degrees is our cool spot over in Beeville. The warm spot, Port Aransas, coming in at 67 degrees right now. Kingsville 55, and Alice, you're waking up to about 53 degrees on the board. As we roll through the rest of our Tuesday, that sunshine is coming out into the afternoon. 76 degrees by 2 p.m., and I'm thinking 77, if not even 78 degrees for that daytime high over by CCIA. Should be falling back into the 60s with winds back out of the southeast as we're heading in towards tonight. If you're getting ready to head out for work today, though, here's how that traffic is flowing right now. No issues on the Harbor Bridge if you're going to be heading to or from Portland this morning. For our major roadways here in Corpus Christi, more of the same. Going to be that good and green color on Ocean Drive, SPID, and Saratoga as of right now. So let's take a little detour inland, taking a look at our traffic, I should say, over in Kingsville. Just a couple of minor slowdowns as you're working there into downtown, but for the most part, really setting up for a good and green Tuesday morning. But with more moisture on the way, we've got more rain chances on the way. I'll break down what you can expect with those rain chances coming up in just a few minutes.
For generations, money was a taboo topic at the dinner table, but more and more research shows that financial literacy needs to start at home. An Intuit survey shows 81% of parents say their current financial stress made them realize how important it is to teach their kids about money. Parents report saying no to purchases more often and explaining how loans, credit cards, and interest works.
Parents are starting to feel not only more comfortable, but feeling that it is more of their responsibility.
In Intuit's survey of parents, the vast majority believe financial literacy should be treated as a core subject in school, just like math or science. Amazon and the U.S. Postal Service have reportedly reached a tentative delivery deal, cutting 20% of the number of packages the post office delivers for Amazon. The Postal Service would still deliver more than 1 billion packages annually for Amazon, the largest customer for USPS. The tentative deal still requires review and approval by the Postal Regulatory Commission. Travel experts are warning people to book summer trips right now because ticket prices are likely to go up soon. It's due in part to rising fuel costs because of the ongoing war with Iran. Going.com travel expert Katie Nastro says the sooner you book your trip, the more likely you'll get a good deal, especially now.
Jet fuel is a large expense for airlines. It's roughly the second largest expense for them.
And you know, fuel represents about 20 to 30% of their overall cost, according to airlines' financial reports. Here's a tip, though. If you're looking to travel this fall, Nastro says if you book a main economy ticket now and prices drop later, most airlines will allow you to rebook at a lower cost. The difference will be used as a credit towards future travel with that airline. Now here's a look at prices at the pump this morning. According to Gas Buddy, the national average is $4.14, a 7-cent increase from yesterday. Across Texas, a 3-cent jump at $3.83, and Corpus Christi is seeing a 4-cent jump from yesterday at $3.91. The Artemis II astronauts are now on course to head back to Earth after their lunar flyby. The spacecraft also had one of the longest communications blackouts in human spaceflight history. During the 40-minute comms blackouts, the crew saw Earth rise and experienced a total solar eclipse. They also got an unprecedented view of the moon's mysterious far side, observing features that have never been seen directly by human eyes.
The gravitational pull of the Earth has had a profound effect on the near side of the moon. It's very different on the far side. While you see some small patches of those Mare in deep craters, it's very much absent on that side.
Having completed their historic lunar flyby, the four astronauts are on their journey back from that silver orb in the sky to the blue planet they call home. That is so cool. Now, I'm just waiting. I mean, we want to wish them safe travels back to Earth, right? But I'm just waiting for the moment they allow us regular civilians to travel space as well.
Oh, you think so? Just go on Google space flights or something, see how much it's going to be. Maybe the prices will be changing. But either way, I think that was just super cool. Seeing the far side of the moon and thinking about the gravitational pulls, I mean, definitely makes logical sense, but just wouldn't have thought about it too much. Either way, as we're heading out through this next week of April, I should say, it's looking very spring-like out there. We're going to be in the 80s, rising humidity in the air, meaning rising rain chances also on the 7-day forecast. But let's start off with our Tuesday morning. Here's the live view from our studio Skycam, and ooh, that is just a gorgeous sunrise on the way. Hopefully you're able to take some quick pictures and submit them to our Coastal Bend Weather Watchers group. I'll be watching for some of those photos in there. Nonetheless, we're waking up to about 56 degrees here in Corpus Christi and a decent warm-up as you work your way closer to the water there. Port Aransas coming in at 67 right now. The Naval Air Station sitting at that 65-degree mark with our coldest temperatures on the board. Mathis, Beeville, and even to the southwest there in Hebronville coming in at the 51-degree mark. Also just worth mentioning, Rockport at 58 degrees and Ingleside coming in at that 55-degree mark. But as we're checking out what to expect for the rest of our Tuesday, let's turn it over to the Magic 8 forecast. Looking at 8 a.m., about 59 degrees out there, maybe 60 degrees on the money. By that lunchtime hour, looking at mostly sunny skies, 73 degrees, and I think I can agree with that one. As we're heading in towards later portions of our Tuesday, though, still dealing with plenty of sunshine in those upper 70s, it looks like, as we're heading in towards about 4 p.m. So for those daytime highs, chasing about the 80-degree mark for areas towards George West and Orange Grove, 79 to be specific, of course, there through Jim Wells County. And as we work towards the coast, not too much of a variation. Luckily, only Port Aransas is coming in at that 71-degree mark today. When we see the winds turn back out of the southeast going into this evening, though, that's going to be the start of our moisture working back into the area, especially as we're heading in through tomorrow and into our Thursday and then into our Friday. You will start to notice that humidity back in the air, the mugginess out there. But with dew points starting to approach that 70-degree mark as we're heading into this weekend, that's going to be plenty of moisture in the air. And we have a weak disturbance that works through by Friday morning into Saturday. That's going to bring just a light rain chance back to the area. So here's how it's looking through the next few days. About 80 degrees tomorrow and still pretty pleasant out there. Starts to get a little bit breezier by Thursday with more of that moisture funneling into the area, priming the atmosphere as we head into Friday morning. Friday morning looking at more of those thunderstorms and plenty of cloud cover cover overhead. One thing to keep in mind, not going to be quite as widespread or not quite as much rain either as what we saw on our Easter Sunday, I should say. So in our rain chances through the next couple of days, likely not going to need that umbrella, but Friday morning into Saturday morning, potentially that's where we see the best chance for some of those scattered thunderstorms returning to the board. Then they start to dry up as we're heading in towards Saturday evening and into our Sunday morning, luckily. So not all those weekend plans going to need to be canceled as you're heading out there. In terms of one of our more aggressive models, still potentially picking up another inch of rain for the coastal bend, which would be very good news, and hopefully that we do see that inch of rain. Nonetheless, I think it's going to be a safe bet that we could see that 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch of rain pick up as this storm system works through the area for us. Even into our watershed, seeing some of those totals getting upwards of an inch at times. So keep in mind, going to be pretty nice out there, hopefully, to see some of that trickle back down into our reservoirs. So through the 7-day forecast, hopefully you're just able to get out there and enjoy these next few days at about 77, if not 80 degrees. That rain chance starts to work in by Friday and Saturday. And like I said, not quite as widespread as what we saw on our Easter Sunday, but nonetheless looking at a good weekend with plenty of sunshine into Sunday and temperatures settling out in those 80s. Michelle, do you already have any plans for the nice weekend ahead?
No plans yet, but I know you have a trip coming up, right? How's the weather going to be for that?
Absolutely. I think it's looking pretty similar and going to be pretty nice as we're working down there into South Padre, of course.
Exactly. We're going to miss you. So you guys have to make sure you tune in tomorrow because I'll be here on my lonesome in the studio. It's cold here too. But thanks so much for joining us, folks. We'll see you soon.